Good afternoon students, welcome back once again to the mathematics class. Last class में हमने derivatives that is limits and derivatives chapters end किए. So आज के lecture में हम नया chapter start करेंगे that is nothing but your probability. Probability, right? So what do you mean by probability? So basically probability हम किसे बोलते हैं? In general life, probability means in general आप बोलते हैं ना probably आ भी सकते हैं नहीं भी आ सकते हैं. अभी गेस्ट आने वाले हैं बोल के समझो आपके घर को, तो प्रोबेबली क्या है आज आ भी सकते हैं, कुछ काम की वजह से वो कल भी आ सकते हैं. प्रोबेबली वी कैन से, एग्जैक्टली वी कांट से. आ भी सकते हैं कि नहीं भी आ सकते. पॉसिबिलिटी क्या है यहाँ पे, दोनों हो सकते हैं, एक आ भी सकते हैं और एक नहीं आ भी सकते हैं. इन जनरल इट इज राइट. तो सिमिलरली in mathematical language probability is nothing but the outcomes, we can say the experiment what we are doing, an experiment in which the result will not be essentially same. एक ही रिजल्ट नहीं रहेगा, इधर वो एस भी रहेगा इधर वो नो भी रहेगा, राइट. पॉसिबिलिटीज जितने भी है, अभी क्या है बैटिंग कर रहे बोल के समझा, वीरेंद्र सहवाग बैटिंग कर रहे, इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम के प्लेयर है. अभी वीरेंद्र सहवाग बैटिंग कर रहे बोल के समझो फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अभी आने वाले बॉल को वो 6 भी मार सकते हैं, 4 भी मार सकते हैं, या 2 रन 3 रन 1 रन ले सकते हैं, या डक 0 भी हो सकता है, विकेट भी जा सकता है, कैच आउट हो सकते हैं, स्टंप आउट हो सकते हैं, रन आउट हो सकते हैं, कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो प्रोबेबिलिटी क्या है हमारा, कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. वी कैन नॉट प्रेडिक्ट इन एडवांस, एग्जैक्टली हम बोल नहीं सकते प्रोबेबिलिटी, राइट. सो प्रोबेबली समथिंग विल चेंजेस, कुछ ना कुछ चेंज होते रहता है, उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं, प्रोबेबिलिटी बोलते हैं, राइट. सो लेट्स सी. So in our previous section we have studied the definition of probability through classical approach, right, and empirical approach also. So in this chapter probability, we shall define the axiomatic approach of probability. But let us first define, to explain various terms which are used in the definition of axiomatic approach to probability using sets. So probability स्टार्ट करने से पहले हमें कुछ डेफिनेशंस मालूम रहना चाहिए, कौन से टर्म्स हम यूज करते हैं probability में to define an experiment or a set or an axiomatic approach to probability using sets. So let's see first event, or you can say first term what we are going to study is random experiment. What is random experiment? Yes, random means कौन सा भी, you can choose anyone random, right. Experiment means it's a process, step by step process. Experiment is nothing but step by process, right. So random experiment is nothing but an experiment in which, let's see, an experiment in which results, or you can say outcomes, also you can say outcomes will not be essentially the same, essentially the same even under homogeneous and identical conditions. Such experiments are called are called random experiment. Random experiment, right? So random experiment is here an experiment in which the result, or you can say the outcomes, will not be essentially the same even under homogeneous or identical conditions. Such experiment, what we can say, it's a random experiment. For example, let's see. For example, tossing a coin. First, tossing a coin. So when you toss a coin, for example, 1 rupee coin you have. So you are tossing a coin. So you cannot predict exactly either it is head or it is tail, right? So the random experiment is what here, either it may be head or tail when you are tossing once, right? So what we get here, sample. Random experiment sample means random experiment is nothing but, for example, what we get head or tail also when we are tossing a coin once, right? So next, rolling a die. Second one example, rolling a die, right? A die means it has 8 faces, right? Already you know. When you are in a childhood, I think you played this game, rolling a die. What you can say, that is chamma, you can say, right? The rolling a die, the subsidy. By rolling a die, you can play like this, right? So rolling a die is also, it's a random experiment. So in that we get random experiment number of outcomes. Either it may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total there are 6 faces, right? And next, drawing drawing a card from a card from a well shuffled pack of cards, etc. Nothing but what? Random experiments. Random experiments. So in detail we can see this for tossing a coin. Let's see for first example, that is, suppose we toss a coin, right? So the of the experiment result of experiment is that the coin may fall either the coin may fall either tail, denoted by what, capital T, or head, denoted by H. Is one of the element of the set is what? One of the element of set is nothing but head or tail, it is, right? So next, second one for die, rolling a die. So now consider a die. Consider a die means you have 6 faces. So like this, the die is like this, right? So total you have what? 1, 2, 3, this is 4, right? 1 2 3 4, and this side 5, and the back side is 6, right? Total 6 faces we have a die. So a cube with the 6 faces marked, a cube with 6 faces marked successively with 1 to 6, right? 1 to 6 dots. When a die is thrown, result of experiment is that die may fall uppermost with face marked with 1 2 or 6. That is one of the number of the set, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Totally there are 6 faces and a 6 dotted line on the cube. So when you throw the die, so when it is fall down at the time, it may be uppermost, either it may be 1 2 3 4 5 or 6. There are 6 outcomes, possibilities are there. So next, finally, third one more we will take. When a coin is tossing twice, suppose if we toss a coin twice, if we toss a coin once, means we can head or tail, two possibilities. So when a coin toss twice, so the result of the experiment can be indicated. The result can be indicated by the set of ordered pair, that is nothing but H, that is head head, head tail, tail head, tail tail, right? So it is nothing but head in the first toss and head in the second toss, head in the first toss and tail in the second toss, it is tail. So tail, head, tail, tail. So for the convenience of the order pair, HS is briefly denoted as double H, etc. So the result of the experiment is what? The set HH, what we can write it as HH, HT, TH, TT, right? So it is nothing but when a coin is tossed twice, the possible outcomes are 4, right? So the number of possible outcomes is 6. So in the first, the possible outcomes are what? When a coin is tossed once, the number of possibilities are what? Only 2 possibilities we have here, right? So these are what? A random experiment. So next